Good evening, IntelliTravel agents. Dun 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 dun. You know who it is? It's IntelliJess, your director of training. I want to welcome you all to our interactive webinar. We are here to help you build your travel business with another one of your exclusive, inspirational, educational, fun events just for you. And it's going to be a fun event for me. I was going to like try and get some questions out of him, but I was like, you know what? No, I want to sit back and see where Railbookers is on my own, just like you guys are, because education is so important to protect the future of all of our businesses. So just so you know, somebody asked if this was live. Yes, it is live, and we will have a Q&A at the end, but we are also recording it. So for all of you who are jumping on right now because you didn't want to come on a minute early, we are recording this, and it will be in your back office probably tomorrow. So you can put your pencils down if you want to just listen, and and it will all be available to you whenever you want. As always, there will be a live Q&A with our special guest at the end of the evening. So feel free to put your questions in the question box, which is in the lower right hand of your control panel. Just make sure that you ask them in complete sentences, because if Baltazar is talking about something at like 12 minutes after, and you're like, what did that mean? I am not going to know what you're referring to. So full sentences, and I will ask as many questions as I can. And at the end, you know what happens at the end. There's going to be a prize. There will be a drawing for a prize, but you must still be present on the webinar to win. So do stay on until the very end. You'll probably be like me, just glued to the screen, not going anywhere. But in the meantime, I don't want to delay this any longer because I know he has a lot of information. So I would love to bring on Baltazar Lopez from Railbookers. Hello there.
Hello, thank you so much, Jessica, and I'm so excited to be with everyone on this call. So again, either kick back, enjoy your seats, be able to enjoy the show, or if you want to have a pad and pen, feel free to do so as well. But like Jessica mentioned, my name is Baltazar Lopez. I'm one of the business development executives here with Railbookers, and I'm going to be your host for today. Now, we're going to focus a lot on what the title suggests: iconic Canadian journeys, European luxury rail journeys. But a lot of what I'm going to share are trips that you can actually help your travelers take this year, next year, or even 2023. And also think of any of your river cruise travelers. We also specialize in pre and post activities. So keep that in mind as we go on. Now, just like Jessica mentioned, if you have any questions during any part of this presentation, please feel free to put it on the sidebar there, and we'll get to as many as we can towards the end. But first, I want to make sure we're on the same page as in who we are as a company. Now, we're really all covered in a parent company called Yankee Leisure Group, and the two major brands is Amtrak Vacations and Railbookers. Now, Amtrak Vacations, it's our US brand, our Canadian brand, more of the traditional arrangements with hotels, activities, tours, bridging into Canada, staying in the US, starting vacations from your client's own hometown. Yes, we can do vacations from their hometown. Now, as we're focusing on Railbookers today, that's more of worldwide independent journeys. Hotels, rails, activity, so much more. That's going to be for the European area, Australia, Japan, Alaska, unique luxury trains like the Rocky Mountaineer, and much more. And that's what we'll focus on today. Now, this is our incredible booking window. And when I say our incredible booking window, this is what you have access to as our partners. You can actually make reservations with us for last minute trips starting, say, from today up to 2023, 24 months in advance. And that's just available to anything that we offer. So just keep that in mind for if you have travelers who are thinking about a last minute trip, your national parks, Europe, maybe just a Switzerland trip. We can do that this year, but majority of what I'll talk about, we can start planning for 2022 and 2023. I just want you to know that you can earn commission this year, or we can plan out for the next years to come. Now, there's special reasons why. Maybe you've worked with the rail systems in Europe, maybe international rail. You probably noticed that it's very tedious, quite annoying actually, because you can only price out rail about 3 months prior to the departure. And in, say, Spain and Portugal, that's about 3 weeks maybe. And so it's very annoying to have to book a hotel's activities for your clients, but you have to give estimated cost on what the rail may be. We don't want you to have to worry about that. With Railbookers, we're actually partnered with all the railway systems. Talk about Trenitalia in Italy, Amtrak, Deutsche Bahn, Via Rail in Canada, Renfe, so much more. The Belmond trains, all the luxury trains. Thanks to our partnerships, we can make those reservations up to 24 months in advance, including the pricing and the schedules of the rail. So again, if you're looking at trips for 2022, 2023, you don't have to question whether you can book it with the rail. We could actually make that a complete package for your travelers. Now, first off, so you have an idea of Canada, because there's so much available for travelers. Again, if they're coming in from, say, New York, Boston, Houston, Texas, Los Angeles, Seattle, we can connect the trains from their hometown and take them into Canada from Vancouver, go through the Canadian Rockies, through Jasper, Banff National Park, going over to Calgary. Maybe if they're interested in the Calgary Stampede, we can arrange them so they can arrive there on those dates. Maybe they want to go cross country from Vancouver all the way to Toronto. That's about a 3-4 night train journey on board. If they want to do the Rocky Mountaineer experience, which is right through the Canadian Rockies, where it's a luxury train, that's available as well. We could even go on the East Coast, going all over to Halifax, Quebec City, Montreal, Toronto. Again, everything you see here, we have vacation packages for. And there's something for everyone when it comes to the train system. Now, some of your travelers are probably going to wonder, what is it like on board the train? What's the difference? What are the adjustments that were made? And so this is the reason why all of our train packages have actually been operating every day since 2020. We've had new reservations, which means all reservations available to you to help you continue to grow your business and grow your clientele and serve them the best way possible. There are base coverings currently required, but if we're talking about 2022, that will be lifted. At least that is what we're anticipating. They've stopped the sale of food and drinks on board the day trains, but overnight journeys, there are meals available to have on board the train, whether it be purchased or if they have a private sleeper, it's included with their class. Changing seat configurations. So there's only about 50% of the space on board the train that's actually allocated to sell. So that's how there's space in between other travelers when traveling on board for safe distancing. We've increased the cleaning and sanitation on an hourly basis. And after every shower use on board the train, everything is clean and sanitized. And everything is now going to contactless ticket control to minimize the hand-to-hand contact with the other travelers. So again, very typical things that we pretty much see on a daily basis, but these are just the small adjustments made so travelers can still travel on a train vacation. Now, first off, the Canadian package I want to share with you is Canadian Rail Experience Toronto to Vancouver. Very general package, but it's extremely valuable because your travelers will begin in Toronto. They'll have a 2-night stay. We have a hop-on, hop-off tour. So if a few of you may be unsure what a hop-on, hop-off tour is, that is basically a tour that's a trolley or a bus that takes your travelers to the major sites within the city. So they don't really have to worry about transportation at all. They can have a tour, exploration, and they can get off at any one of the stops to do their own exploring. And when they want to continue the tour where they left off, just jump back onto the trolley and they can continue on. It's their transportation and tour guide all in one. Now, taking the train from Toronto, they'll be taking the Canadian. And on the Canadian, there's many classes. There's the berths, upper and lower berths, which is just the bed so they can sleep on board the train. There's the cabin for ones for any of your single travelers who want to just travel on their own and they don't want to face a single supplement charge. That's a cabin for one. But this is the cabin for two. As you can see, own private window. There's a door that locks from the inside, 2 seats, and they do convert into a bunk bed style for two. The meals are included on board the train, but we can add luxury on board the Via Rail. Again, this is the Canadian Via Rail train. They can ride on the Prestige class. This is the best class on board the train. They're going through Canada for a multiple of 3 to 4 nights on board the train. They're going to have an L leather-shaped couch on board. The window is massive. They have a flat screen TV. The walls are heated and the floors are heated. They have their own shower and restroom in the room with them. And they have a personnel to assist them with anything they may need, even including alcohol. And they have their own private dome car class to enjoy. And it turns into a full-size bed for two, which is the only class on the train where they can actually share a bed versus it being a bunk bed style. And the best part is they're still not stuck in this class. They can actually roam around the train as much as they like. So again, they can still travel by train in luxury, or we can do a budget option depending on who it is that you're serving. Now, this is just a few pictures. This is one of the most photographed locations, Lake Louise. one of the popular destinations that you can see through the Canadian Rockies. And this is some of our general classes. There's an observation car available to everyone on board the train. So they don't have to feel that they need to have a special prestige class or a cabin for two. They can still feel a luxury experience even if they were just riding in economy or upper and lower berth class, because they can enjoy these dome car classes. Now the meals, they're actually prepared based on the regions that they're in. So if they're traveling through the prairies, they're gonna have beef and lamb. If they're going by the waterfronts, then there's gonna be some salmon, some different unique types of fish, and much more. And again, that's just the Canadian view of the sites. Some travelers always ask, when is the best time to travel? And it's actually available for any person, because if you're traveling during the summertime, this is what it's gonna look like. And if you're going during the winter time, which you can go in the winter time, it looks like a winter wonderland filled with snow. So again, something for everyone. This is a simple 8-day journey, only starting from $1,799. And that will actually end in Vancouver. Well, we still have the 2-night stays as well as a hop-on, hop-off tour through Vancouver, as well as access to the Vancouver Lookout Tower. And when you see this price, it is in United States dollar, per person price based on double occupancy, but we can actually still quote, readjust, or customize this package if need be. Now, I want to go into some of our European options. That's just a base idea when it comes to Canada. We can still mix and match, but this is actually the railway system operating throughout Europe. And you see all of those different lines. Those are actually all the different rail operators and providers, and none of them talk to each other. This is why it's pretty annoying to have to work with the railways in Europe, because if you want to go take your travelers from London to Paris, going over to, say, Florence and Rome, and continue on, you actually have to work with different rail providers to make that trip connect. Or you go to one source and you get paid very little to even none commission. Well, for us, we actually work with all of these different rail connections. So you just need to tell us, Baltazar, my clients are looking at going London, Paris, stopping in Venice, Florence, and Rome. What options do you have available? Our team members can actually piece it together in a matter of 5 minutes over the phone and have an exact quote for you and your travelers to be able to start that vacation trip. It's that simple, that easy, and all of our rail trips up to 24 months in advance. So this is our Venice Simplon Orient Express to Venice with the Glacier Express and Bernina Express 10-day tour. Now I want to share this with you because with the limited time I have here today, I want to kind of give you a big picture of different options that you have. So if you see this and you say would be a perfect pre and post cruise trip for your clients, but they only want a 5-day trip, not a 10-day trip, we'll cut this in half, depending on what chuck you'd like. If they want 5 nights in Switzerland and only 3 nights in other areas, not a problem. But with this trip, it's including the luxury train, Venice Simplon Orient Express, which maybe if some of you this rings a bell, there's a movie that's based on this train called Murder on the Orient Express. So it's a very popular luxury train. Now, they're going to begin in London. Fantastic destination. We have the hotels arranged. We also have options from 3, 4, and 5-star options. So depending on the preference. And they'll take a train, one of the sister brands of the Venice Simplon Orient Express. They'll go underneath the English Channel to get over to Paris. Now, just picture that. That's already a fantastic journey in itself. Now, in the Venice Simplon Orient Express, pure luxury. There's different classes that they can upgrade, like the grand suites. There's cabins. As you can see, everything is polished wood along the walls, full-size beds or just twin-size beds if need be, their own private washroom. All the amenities are there. They don't have to worry about carrying any kind of toiletries at all, robes. They'll have robes, slippers available, and you can never overdress for this class. Now, all the meals are included, as it should be when it comes to a luxury train. Meals are fantastic. There's different options selected off of a menu. And we have a fantastic lounge car. Now, all the seating is based on what they would prefer. There's some private seating, there's open seating, so it's very easy to mingle with the other travelers. There's a bar car, bar services are included with their travel. It's just very easy to enjoy. And some travelers, full tuxedos, women, floor-length gowns, or even just business smart attire is completely fine as well. But a lot of our travelers go all out for this kind of occasion. Then they'll arrive over to Venice. Now in Venice, as you know, you probably sold many of the different options as well, but Venice is a fantastic place where they can go on a gondola ride, which we include in this vacation trip. We have a walking tour as well that unearths the hidden gems within Venice. So like options if they'd like a walking tour through the cobblestone streets. And then we're going to bridge over to Switzerland. Now, the Bernina Express, if you've never heard of it, you need to. This is what all the toy train sets aspire to be. The stunning scenery will take your traveler's breath away as they explore the Swiss Alps. This is the Red Carriages Bernina Express. They go on bridges and viaducts. In a 4-hour period, they actually cover about 196 bridges and 55 viaducts, all within the UNESCO World Heritage Site, which is basically like a US national park having a train riding through the mountains. Now, not only is that included to take them to their next destination, say St. Moritz, but they're going to also go on the Glacier Express. Now, this is the slowest express train in Europe with an average speed of about 24 miles per hour, and rightfully so. Your travelers will not want to speed through this area. The Glacier Express, there's very large windows, different classes, of course. A class I would prefer for any kind of luxury travelers is going to be our Excellence class. There's large windows, as you can see, bigger than the person. Meals are included. They can also order meals on the other classes as well. It's about $45 more or less. And do you see the bar service in this photo? Right above is around the rim, the gold rim lining. Those are the mountains. Now, why would they have mountains labeled on the wall? Well, there's actually a live compass, and it rotates as they travel through the mountains. So they're enjoying their bar services and drinks, and they look up and they see a huge compass rotating, pointing at what mountains they're seeing along the way. They're going to see sites like the Matterhorn and much more. And again, the onboard dining available to choose off of a menu. And another fantastic journey is our Jungfrau Joch Railway. Now, this is still one vacation package for your travelers in a 10-day journey. The Jungfrau Joch, it comes out of Interlaken. Interlaken is a city within Switzerland that sits in between two lakes. And so that's pretty privileged to be able to be in this town that's just surrounded by lakes. And they have a view of 3 icy icons, the 3 icy mountains, Eiger, the Monk, and the Jungfrau. The Jungfrau is the biggest one of the 3. So there's a train that goes all the way to the top on one side. They can explore the Ice Palace, the world's highest chocolate shop, many restaurants. They could walk on a glacier. Again, something for everyone if they want to be a little more adventurous or just see the sights. On a clear day, they can actually see as far back as the Black Forest of Germany. And then we'll bring them back down the opposite side of the mountain by train, where they can actually end through a village that has a waterfall flowing right through the middle. These are just experiences you cannot experience, and you have to take this, especially coming off of a cruise. They can actually catch this journey off of a cruise coming out of, say, Basel, and they can then take these kind of journeys. And then we'll go on the Golden Pass train. Now, the Golden Pass, there's an ultra modern version and a historic version of this train. My preference is actually the ultra modern version, as you can see. This is huge panoramic windows. And I've actually been told by a few of our partners who've taken this trip, where they said that the windows were so large that when they got on board, it felt like the train had disappeared with the land because of, again, how large. They felt they were just gliding through the prairies. And then going back over to St. Moritz to enjoy their 2-night stays, and they'll continue on to Zermatt, which, yes, that is the real Matterhorn. Zermatt is a town that was known as a mountaineering base at one point, so it's a car-free town. And that was, again, that 10-day journey altogether. Now, we also have a simpler journey, Venice Simplon Orient Express from Paris to Venice and Rome. This is 2 nights in Paris, the Venice Simplon, 2 nights in Venice, and then 2 nights in Rome. Now remember, if they want to add on Florence, if they want to make a stop in Switzerland, if they want to go to Germany, we can easily add on those connections. Now Paris, we have great options like a river cruise, which is just an evening river cruise, so they can have that romantic appeal. If your travelers have any kind of request where they're celebrating an anniversary, maybe they have a special occasion that they want to include in their trip, let our team members know, because we've actually helped some of our travelers do a proposal on this river cruise overlooking Paris. Just any little thing we can add, we would love to do so. We'll take the Trenitalia train over to Rome, and we'll have a skip of the line pass to Rome, the Colosseum, and the Vatican Museum. And I'm sure you're probably wondering, a skip of the line pass, why would someone need that? But before I worked here with Railbookers, I never thought much of the skip of the line pass. But imagine your travelers going to Rome. They only have 2 nights. And when they arrive for their first day to go on their Colosseum tour, they have to wait in a line that's about 4 to 5 hours wait long. Well, when we have our travelers take the skip of the line pass that's included in their package, they arrive to the Colosseum and they can walk to the front and begin their tour. It is completely worth it. You can now offer your clients an experience of a lifetime, and they will remember the service you were able to give them because you offer them something that they didn't even think about themselves in the best respect possible. Now, I know I've said customization a few times, but just know if you need to add on any destinations, make it a round trip journey, book a trip in reverse, upgrade it to first class or even excellence class, add sightseeing tours, or even upgrade to private tours. All of this can be done at any level that your travelers are looking for. We've even had some of our partners book a trip that was a 2-month journey from Norway all the way down to Portugal, 2 months in between stopping at multiple different countries and cities. Very simple for us to do. And it's typically difficult for others. And then you can also choose between 3, 4, 5-star hotel options. All of our properties have been vetted by our team members that have been sent to these destinations. And 3, 4, 5-star options are also available on the same trip. So they don't have to choose a first class package where they have to have 4 or 5 stars all the way through. Maybe one city they want a 5-star and the rest they want 3 and 4. Completely available to them. Now, this is the Belmond Royal Scotsman Highland Journey, an 8-day tour, a luxury train, of course, a Belmond train. And the Royal Scotsman adds a unique flair, very similar to the Venice Simplon, where everyone dresses in full tuxedos and floor-length gown attire. This is more of the unique historic attire. Now, with this journey, we'll begin in London, which will then connect over to Edinburgh. Now, yes, that is how you pronounce it, Edinburgh. I was corrected by one of our Scottish partners, our colleague of mine. And so over in Edinburgh, we have the castle walking tour included, and it is a skip of the line ticket as well. And there's also a 2 nights staying in Edinburgh to be able to enjoy. Then your travelers will go on to the Royal Scotsman. Now there's a whole ceremony joining on board this journey. They have the pipes, the pipe music going, bagpipes. They have the complimentary drinks. When your travelers go on board the Royal Scotsman, they will begin with a toast just to add to the flair of the occasion that they're going on a fantastic journey. They're going to continue on. There's options like the twin cabins for the 2 travelers. There's also options that are going to be going over to the single cabins. Twin cabins, as you can see, polished wood, large mirrors, their own private desk to be able to do any kind of work that they may have. And then we'll also have the single cabins available, where very similar, polished wood, but this just helps for avoiding any kind of single supplement charge, where they can actually just go on board. It's okay if there's 1 traveler, 2 travelers, or a family going on, it's all available. Now there is onboard dining available to select off of a menu. So if your travelers, if they have specific recommendations, let our team members know so they can put that request in the reservation, because all of the ingredients they use is completely fresh. And if there's a specific ingredient you may need, we can notify that to our team members who are going to make this reservation. And the chefs will make sure they get the freshest ingredients based on what you're looking for your trip. Now, onboard dining, it's very easy to be able to mingle with the other travelers. It's actually open seating, and they're very large tables. So as you can see, just with the large tables, very easy to be able to start a conversation, or you can enjoy the meals in your private space if you prefer. Now, we also have the alcoholic beverages included with the trip. Now, there may be a certain number that's allowed. I'm actually not sure about that exact number on the top of my head. So when you speak to our team members, they'll have that specific detail for you. And not only do they have the open seating for the dining, but they also have the lounge car on the Royal Scotsman, which, as you can see, sectional seating. So it's still somewhat open seating, but there can be those private areas if your travelers want their own space. And very easy to be able to talk to the other travelers. And when they're traveling on board with the Royal Scotsman, they still have a lot of different activities they're doing. They have a 9-hole golf to be able to do, which is a highlight in the Royal Scotsman trip. They have clay pigeons that they'll be able to shoot with shotguns. Or if they're not into that, they can also do a walking tour instead, which is a naturistic walking tour. that they can do, almost like a hike. So a list of activities available while they're traveling on the Royal Scotsman, stopping along the way. So those are the main luxury packages I want to share with you. Like I said, we can mix and match, customize, even if it's a short getaway for 2 nights in the one city, we can do that. Again, this is all available that you have access in your inventory to recommend to your travelers. Again, for this year, next year, 2023. Now, we do have a special travel advisor reduced rate. So if anyone on this call, because you are our partners, if you would like to take any one of our own vacation trips, you can. And you actually receive a 20% discount as a travel advisor, and that even covers up to 3 travel companions. So it does not only need to be yourself that gets a discount, it can be 3 other travelers. Whether they're a travel advisor, a family member, a spouse, or a friend, they can all join you and receive a 20% discount. Just let our team members know you are a travel advisor and you're looking at taking your own trip, and they can get this applied to your reservation. Now, I typically get asked many times where a lot of our partners say, Baltazar, I want to promote rail travel. I just never have before. And what can I do? And do I have any material? Can I take photos off the presentation? Can I get pictures, screenshots off of your website? And I have something better for you. Now, just know your travelers will rarely ever say, I'm looking for a rail vacation. Because that's the same thing as someone saying they're looking for a flight vacation. It's just not really a thing. Trains are more of a transportation. They're just extremely scenic. Many of you have probably taken planes before, flights, and when you're in the sky, all the clouds pretty much look the same. If you're driving, you're driving into the Scottish area, roads are backwards, it's more of a headache than it is enjoyable. But when you're taking a train, you're going through the terrain, you're going through the mountains, the incredible sights that you don't have to do the driving and you can just enjoy it. Some of our travelers call it a roller coaster without the drops. And so when you're sharing this with your travelers, just let them know taking a train is just more scenic as they go from city to city. Now, the main purpose is they're still going to all the different locations with hotels and activities, just taking the train in between. So what we have available for you is digital brochures. We have social media assets, which shows a lot of our promotions, even customizable flyers, where if you want to put your own phone number on our flyers that show a lot of our promotions, you actually can put your own phone number, send it off to your clients, and they'll call you for the promotions that we're offering so you can continue to assist them with their reservation. So all of this is available. All you have to do is go to railbookers.com, scroll to the bottom where it says travel agent, and you'll see an area where you can put in your name and IATA number, and then you'll have access to this Dropbox. You can pick the pictures, videos, flyers, anything you like, you can use. All we ask is feel free to tag us so we know how we can continue to assist you. So I want to just thank everyone again for just being fantastic. Hopefully, if you have any questions, now is the time to get them in that question box as we're getting towards the end here. And maybe if you don't have any questions, feel free to answer this for me. What destinations are your clients currently considering for their next vacation? It's okay if it's nothing that was mentioned here. Maybe they're looking for river cruise trips. Maybe they're looking for Alaska, US journeys. Feel free to put that in there. Maybe we can have a conversation what that would look like for your travelers to be a little more specific. But Jessica, I want to thank you again. But if you would like to bring up any kind of questions, I'd be more than happy to answer. And all of the contact info is at the bottom of the screen right here. But if there's any questions, I'm more than happy to assist.
Okay, there are lots of questions. The most popular one being, are these trips child friendly?
Great question. So most of these luxury trains, when it comes to the Venice, Simplon, and Royal Scotsman, they're typically going to be more for the adults because there's so much complimentary alcohol included with the trips. For the Glacier, Bernini Express, Venice, and all of our other journeys that don't involve, say, a luxury bar car class, that is completely child-friendly, family-friendly, and it's actually the trips we do recommend for families, as we usually get compliments where they get excited about the Coliseum, but they remember more of the mountains as they're traveling on the train. So yes, available for families except for the Royal Scotsman and Venice Simplon.
Okay, one of our ambassadors is asking, can we book a trip for our clients that are currently on vacation in another country? And I'm not positive, Samantha, if I'm asking this correctly, but what I think you're asking is, let's say they are in Edinburgh right now on vacation. Could they this quickly book a rail trip? right now?
Yes, correct. We can arrange that as long as we can get the tickets to them. We can arrange that trip. So if, example, we had someone, yes, over in Europe, they wanted to book a trip. Two examples. They wanted to book a trip where they wanted to train the next day to a certain city with the hotels. We booked that same day. And we also had someone where they were traveling, but they also wanted to plan a trip for the later that year and another one for next year. All we need is a simple deposit if it's outside of 90 days. So we made reservations for that where as long as the agent has their name, information like birth dates, and the card that's going to be preferred with the billing address, we can make the reservation.
Okay. Are the trips one-way journeys?
So the trips with the Royal Scotsman is a round trip journey because they do a full loop. Venice Simplon is going to be a one-way journey, but we can make it a round trip depending on preference. Some travelers fly into Zurich in Switzerland and they want to take a trip as a pre-cruise trip and end in Basel. We can do that. But if they want a round trip out of Zurich or any other city, no problem at all. We just add the rail and we'll add that to the trip.
Okay, very, very important question for our agents, since I know they're all salivating like I am to trains. And since they are, working, they're there to check out everything and learn while, they are, so they can go back and sell. We've got to know, is there Wi-Fi included on the train?
Yes, majority of the trains, there are Wi-Fi on board. And on the Glacier Express, they even include tablets on the Excellence class for travelers to do any work if they'd like. The only thing is that some of the trains, because we are working with worldwide trains, some may not have Wi-Fi. When they call in for a quote, our team members can verify that. But majority of the trains do include Wi-Fi.
Okay, and that is when agents, you put that cute little travel out of office sign on your Facebook heading, and you are happy that you don't have Wi-Fi because you want to just enjoy the beauty of what you are seeing. And you can just take lots of pictures and then come home and you have marketing stuff. Okay, we have a question about the time frame for cancellations. Anything?
Great question. Yes, so currently what we have is, and this is actually ending this month, we have our maximum flexibility offer. So what this is we never had this before, but we had it because of this whole pandemic thing that was happening. So if any reservation booked by June 30th of this year, if there's cancellations or change schedules that need to happen, your travelers can actually do so up to 5 business days prior to the departure, and they will not face any kind of fees in doing so. The only thing is the full amount will be used as a future travel voucher for up to 24 months in advance. Now, after that, if they have our trip protection that we include in our trips, they can cancel up to 1 business day prior to departure, and that same policy they can move it to any date, change the vacation. Even if they were going to Europe, they can change it to Alaska if they'd like. All the funds will be used for that future travel voucher.
Okay. And let's see, do any of the rails provide any kinds of entertainment?
So yes, on the Via Rail, they have a few activities that you can do in the observation car, so on the Canadian journey. And what they do is they actually offer it. I don't know how frequent this is, but they offer it to live musicians to travel for free as long as they play in the dome car, observation car, as they travel through. So there's that kind of entertainment on the dome car. They have different activities and talks on geography and culture. Alaska, they have activities where they have a narrator as you travel through Alaska if you're in the Gold Star service. On the Royal Scotsman, they have different talking activities and mingling activities. So depending on the trains, there are some activities. Other ones, like the Glacier and Bernina Express, it's more of just observing the wild nature as you explore through. Other ones, there's some activities that are set up.
Okay. Now, just so everyone knows, like Jacqueline, this is recorded, so you can go back and watch it anytime. But this is an important question, so I would love for you to repeat it anyway, so we can hear it twice.
Absolutely.
Where get the digital flyers, all that great marketing stuff you showed us before?
Yes, so that's on our website. Just go to railbookers.com and you'll scroll to the bottom and it'll say travel agent. You click that button and you have a section on the screen that says your name and IATA number. And when you place that, you'll have access to the entire Dropbox and you can use anything you'd like there.
Okay. Now you asked them to tell you all the different places their people wanted to go. So I'm just curious, do you provide services in other countries other than Europe and Canada?
Absolutely. We work with all U.S. journeys, Canadian journeys, Alaska. We have access to the Blue Train. We go to Australia with the luxury trains like the Gone and the Pacific. I forgot the name, but yes, so the luxury trains there. Japan with the bullet trains,
Uh,
our Trans-Siberian, Trans-Mongolian.
I want to go to Japan train. Okay.
Yeah.
I want to go on all the trains.
Yes, yes, they're fantastic. So we have pretty much worldwide, and if your team members do want to always give us a call and let us know if we have specific options, just just reach out to our team members because we continue to expand our inventory on a monthly basis. There was a period we did not have Alaska. There was a period we didn't have Japan. Now we do, and we'll continue to do so on a monthly basis.
And are the trains handicap accessible?
Yes, majority, well, pretty much almost all of them are handicap accessible. And some of the classes on the train actually have accessible rooms, even including Amtrak, where they'll have an oxygen refueling station on board the room, accessible shower, and a very large bed for them to enjoy with an additional bed above if they have another traveler coming along with them.
Okay, because I do know that like there are certain rules that we have in the US that they don't necessarily follow internationally.
Mhm.
Oh no, Rory, what is happening with your clients? Do the trains have facilities for smokers? Uh-oh.
Yeah, well, so majority of them do not have areas for smokers, but when they get to their next destination, that's where they can enjoy that at, say, their property or anywhere else. On board the train, there typically is not an area where they can smoke on board.
Rory, tell them to get the patch and not to do the vaping because that's a gateway. We don't like that. So, all right, let's get them on a health kick and get them off the cigarettes. All right, let's see. And I'm playing with you guys. Like, don't take offense. I let you smoke. That's just how I roll. I take you as you are. Okay. Let's see. So, I mean, oh my gosh, people are laughing. Good. Rory's laughing. Good. Do you do group travel?
Great question. So that's a unique question because I'm sure some of you on this call, when you, and all respect, you may say group travel as in 50 people, and you may say group travel as 8. And so we don't promote, we specialize in groups only because we cannot offer group rates or guaranteed pricing until at time of booking. However, we have booked groups before. We just put them on their own reservation. We can fit up to 8 on one reservation. And if there's, say, 16, we would just book them, say, 2 to a reservation or 4 to a reservation, and that's good to go. We just can't guarantee that the first group booked or the first couple booked will have the same price as the last couple that booked because everything is live dynamic pricing. If the less availability, the higher the price. So we just can't guarantee the space, but we can make the reservations, and we've had 20, 30, 40 people travel on one vacation. They just, some of them had a little bit different prices, even though it was the same trip.
Okay, another big thing that comes up in the US a lot and has been getting much better in other countries. How are the trains at meeting dietary needs? Food allergies, gluten, dairy, kosher, all the things.
Yes, everything keto, and I completely relate with that as well. So typically, most of the trains, especially the US, they are not going to have that much flexibility with their menus. They do have a menu to select off of, but if there's a specific dietary need, we recommend that your travelers actually bring on their own meals, even if their meals are included. On board, say the US trip like Amtrak, you can actually take on your own cooler with your own meals and snacks. And if you have your own private room, you can actually take on your own alcohol. And so you can only enjoy it in your own private room. But that's what we would recommend if you have a specific dietary need. When it comes to the Royal Scotsman and Venice Simplon, let our team members know because the chefs can actually arrange specific meals depending on how detailed the meals need to be.
Okay. Well, because this is not typically a question I would ask of you, but I'm going to ask it because of, being the director of training, I'm always helping them to myth bust. So
Mm-hmm.
have them think of what objections their clients would have so that we can answer it for them.
Yeah.
So that a client might say who's never been on a train before is, well, what would happen if there's a medical emergency?
Great question. So medical emergency, they'll have an onboard uh, physician that's traveling on board, especially the long distance trains. The shorter trains, I'm not entirely sure if they'll have one because it's just short enough. And if it's something that requires hospital attention, the station will stop at the next train station to orchestrate how that person's going to get to the hospital. And we also, with our trip protection, we actually have different protection. And I'm not the insurance personnel, but our team members have the entire details of our trip protection that you get in every one of your quote documents to read off of. But there's some protection when it comes to someone who may need to go to the hospital, someone who may have, knock on wood, but dismemberment. Uh, all those different things, there is protection for that, and they'll get directly sent to the hospital to get that taken care of at the next stop, or the more smart stop to make to get to the hospital.
Please tell your clients to keep their hands and legs in the train at all times. We do not
Exactly.
dismemberment. That would be not a good vacation. All right, so a couple people are asking questions that are kind of what I call crystal ball questions, because you won't have the answers because it changes on a daily basis, but I'm just wondering if you have a place to direct them to. And I call them the overall COVID questions. So anything having to do with masks, wearing masks, having to show COVID vaccination cards, all of that. Do you have a general place that answers those type of questions as they change on a regular basis?
So it's always going to be calling into our team members. They're updated on a daily basis. We have connections with all the different providers and what they require. And there's weekly meetings to update all of our staff so they're well educated on what they may require. So as far as that right now, there is no requirements for any proof of vaccinations. They can actually just go on board with a mask. That's actually getting freed up pretty soon now as everything is opening up. So I believe, again, don't quote me, but I believe by 2022, everything's going to be available where it's back to normal basis. But as for this year, masks are just required on board, but there is no need for proof of vaccination. If they need any latest up-to-date information, our team members will have that when they call in. And just so you know, Railbookers average hold time is 3 seconds. So you get directly connected to one of our live team members so they can assist you with this.
3 seconds?
Exactly.
Hold the travel record in hold time.
Yes.
On that one. We got 7 hours recently, which we're not pleased with. So guys got to start booking on Railbookers so we can up their hold time, because 3 seconds. We need to work them a little harder. Okay, yes, schools are free, Latoya. Okay, apparently Elizabeth has a need for speed. What is your fastest train?
Bullet train over in Japan. That's going to be the fastest train. But typically when it comes to the European trains, like the TGV trains, the Trenitalia in Italy, those are high-speed trains. They're going at about, I want to say 80 miles per hour. And so yes, they're pretty fast trains when it comes to Europe. It's much more normalized in Europe to travel by train. The only slower trains is going to be in Switzerland, where those are going about 20 to 50 miles per hour.
Okay, can you do me a favor and go back to any slide that you think is absolutely gorgeous, has a gorgeous view? I'm going someplace with this, so just pick a slide that you think has a gorgeous view. Okay,
I'll leave it at that one because it seems that it has a delay when it comes to me switching slides.
So let's keep it at this. All right. So Orlando's wants to know what makes a train trip sexy for people who don't know if they want to book one. So I want you to go with me here, Orlando's, and all of the agents. Here you are in your very own private room on this train. You've got a gorgeous view of the mountains. And while you just enjoyed a delicious meal that was included, because you have your own room, you were able to slip in some food and some alcohol. So you've got some strawberries and some champagne that I, your travel agent, sent to you before you left to make sure you brought it in with your cooler. And you are just looking at these gorgeous views that go by, and you're saying, honey, I love you and happy anniversary. Ooh, is that sexy? Sexier, but what kind of crowd I got? Making that sexy.
That's exactly it. That's exactly it. And you have to remember, these are luxury trains. If we're talking about anything more crazier, you have to look at Alaska. You can go as far as Fairbanks, where you're seeing the northern lights above you as you're traveling in the train. Where you see wild animals running outside the snow. On some of our Grand Canyon Railway journeys, they have a Wild West shootout show where they do a fake robbery on board the class to surprise all the families. Sorry, spoiler alert. And Norway, you're going through lush forests, rivers flowing alongside the train, and it's so scenic. You stop and get off the train to look at a waterfall where they actually have an acting siren flowing along the waterfall. So there's something for everywhere we can go.
Oh my gosh, it's so sexy. I can't take it. Oh my gosh, everyone's gonna get their people on a train because it's sexy. Sexy. 2022 is the year of sexy train rides. Okay, we have to come up with some kind of hashtag for this. Railbookers for sexy vacation. I don't know. We're gonna come up with something good.
Exactly.
No, that's not what they want to know. They want to know like fly highs. Oh, that was from the other question. What's the fastest train? They want to know like fly highs. I don't know what that means. Do you know what that means?
I guess maybe referring to is, and I'm just going to guess, but maybe what is going to be faster, taking a flight or a train? And flights will be faster, but again, you're just looking at the clouds. You're not actually going to be seeing everything that you can see when traveling.
Yes. Okay, if that's what you mean, Elizabeth, then yes. I mean, definitely a flight is faster, but this is not a destination. This is not getting from destination to destination. This is the destination. Okay, this is an incredible, luxurious experience. This is the kind of thing that is unique, that most people would never have the opportunity to experience. They're not even thinking that. They're thinking of the Amtrak train that they took when they were 7 years old from New York to Florida so they can visit their grandparents. This is sexy, like Orlando said, okay? This is luxury. This is like really not, I mean, beautiful views. They're going 24 miles per hour for a reason, because they want you to be able to see the sights and experience it in a way that most people on the planet are not seeing it. And you know, if you're signed up for our luxury event, that people who want luxury are looking for unique experiences. They want bragging rights. And right here, you've got them all over the world. Some people might not feel comfortable going to Japan and just, you know, walking around and not speaking the language, but on a train, what an incredible experience that would be. So, you know, I get a little carried away, Baltazar, in case you haven't realized.
You're doing, it's fantastic. And
okay. Well, Stacy wants to know if there's more than one restroom. Well, I believe she means restroom in each room.
yes, so there is a restroom. There's typically about 2 to 3 restrooms and showers per each car on most of the overnight trains, and they're only available for the personnel in that car.
Okay, would you recommend flippy floppies?
Flippy
Flip-flops.
flop. Oh,
Flip-flop.
yes, they can bring on flip flops, but if they're going on a luxury train, they usually include the slippers with the robe.
Okay, I just mean for like taking the same showers, y'all can like get some Intella flip-flops, have our, you know, thing put on there and send them off just in case they're not the same family. All right, let's see. Can you give us tips on how to get people on trains who have never been on one? Let me ask you something, Baltazar. Do you have videos on your YouTube channel or on Instagram or on Facebook? Do you have any videos?
We have videos on the Dropbox, and that you can use anything you like. They're 30 seconds, minute longs, just to get a quick view of what it looks like on the train.
Oh, it's my friend Orlando's again. You know, you and I should just do a webinar together, Orlando's. Yeah, so you've got videos will get people on trains, because just watching the pictures tonight, I want to get on trains. So imagine I'm seeing a video of it. Then I start imagining myself with those people on the train. So, or you might want to get on the train. Right here, we got 20% off of the travel advisor and up to 3 travel companions, because if you get on the train, then you can share your story. And when you share your story, they start imagining themselves in your place. So if you don't have a story yet, then go into the departure lounge and ask if any of the other advisors have been on one of the rail booking trains, and they can share their story so that you can share a third-party validation story. And that's another way to get people on the trains. I mean, just the uniqueness, really selling the uniqueness of the experience, that, you know, that they're going to be able to tell stories to their friends and families that no one has ever experienced before. So let's see. Boy, oh, we got 10 minutes left. Let me see. Can we build our client's vacation on your website, or do we have to call in to build the vacation?
It's always going to be by calling in to build a reservation. As you can see, with so many moving parts, it just takes one of our team members to piece it together and get the live pricing.
All right, and that's fun because you're interacting with someone, and I imagine their specialists know things that are available that you might not even think to ask. So that might be a question that you can pose to them. Say, listen, is there anything, any like amenities or any special things I can add or add on, or share with them I might not know I should be asking right now, because they're the specialists. So let them give you some ideas on how to build the most value for your.
That's actually one thing I do want to bring up, because we have a lot of our partners where they're maybe you on this call, you're used to piecing together these vacations together, which hopefully you call us so you can get the preferred commission. I can only imagine what you're getting now, but what we've noticed is that some of our partners who do book rail previously, they'll look online to try to find the rail prices, and if they can get it outside of 3 months, typically within 3, and they'll find that, okay, we're going to book a trip, say in Europe, there's the Gothard Pass, we're going to book the Gothard Pass or the Gothard Express. Well, Gothard Express is shorter, so that must be better. But if your travelers if they want to see a scenic ride as they're going through Europe, the Gothard Express, that's just an example where they're going to go through a tunnel. They're just going to be going through a tunnel the whole entire time going through the prairies. But if you speak to our team members, they'll ask you, do they want to see something scenic or do they want to get there faster? They want to see scenic. Gothard Pass is going through the town villages and seeing the farm animals and going through the grass and the hills, mountains, fjords. So it's just one of those little things that can really change a reservation. Even though it looks easier online, it's much better to call in.
Okay. Kathy says, what about honeymoons? Would you recommend? Look at this bed. Look at that window. How about my story? Yes, yes, yes. What a unique honeymoon. Okay, it's all about creating memories. And these destinations and this luxury train, it's screaming honeymoons. Now, Cheryl, she wants to take care and make sure, since her clients aren't smoking, they're working out. She wants to know if there's an exercise room.
An exercise room? There's not going to be an exercise room on board the train. I actually am unaware of any trains that will have that. Maybe our team members may know of one, but I actually don't believe there is an exercise room on board the trains.
So Cheryl, what you're going to do is, as the amazing travel advisor that you are going to look up 10 exercises that you can do from your hotel room. And then since, a train room is like a hotel room, you're going to give them those so that you're showing that that exercise is important to them, but because it's not available in the train, they don't have to give up on their exercise routine. They can still do it. See, we are solution finders. Okay. Oh, Railmantic vacations. Hashtag she will love you forever. Alfonso, bring in the kids. We have such creative agents. I love it. Okay. Oh boy, we're running out of time. Let me stop. Let's see. Are deposit requirements different between US-based trains versus European trains? That's an interesting question.
So no. So we actually have 5 different offices. We have an office in over here in Laguna Hills, California, and I'm actually over here in Laguna Niguel, so about 15 minutes from that office. We have one in Boston, Massachusetts, and we also have a few in Sydney, Australia, Toronto, Canada, as well as London in the UK. All offices are there to assist your travelers, so no matter which time zone they're in, if they call in for, say, our help desk, they'll reach someone in the office that can assist them on their time zone. But when you call in with Railbookers, even though it's over in Europe, you're speaking to our offices over here in the States, unless if you want to call from, if you're in Canada or if you're in one of the other countries, then you'll speak with that specific office. But typically, everyone on this call, if you're in the U.S., you'll be speaking with our U.S. Reservations, who will still book reservations in Europe and all other locations.
Okay. So let's see. If I get on these trips, can I film the trip? Is filming allowed on the train?
It's recommended to get all the films. It's funny that's mentioned. There's actually a fact on the Royal Scotsman. There's a specific tour where they actually do not recommend photography because you'll go into one of the oldest distillery locations as a tour, and alcohol. It's possible where any kind of photos. At least that's what's recommended on that one tour when you're going in the distillery. But on the trains, take photos, videos. The Bernina Express, you can actually stick your head out the window and take a photo of the train from the front view, back view. So it's highly recommended, photos and videos.
Okay, Marcia or Marcia, I'm not sure how you pronounce your name, but she's like #LoveTrain. And guys, I want you to take notes of all these hashtags and start taking the photos that they give you to use on Instagram and use these hashtags, because that's what's going to get people curious. Like, oh, I never thought about a train like being a love train. Oh yeah, it's the love train. Like, instead of Love Shack, sing Love Train to them. Love train, baby, love train. Okay, I had a little chocolate before this, I'm just saying. Right, so let me see if there's anything. Okay, you know what, we've really got to pick a prize winner. So let me spin the spinny thing, since there are a lot of you on here tonight. Oh boy, a lot of you. Let's see, spinny, spin, spin. And you gotta be on to win, so get close to your computer. Sonia Boyce. Sonia Boyce, are you on? If you are, please put it in the chat. By the way, Gwendolyn, thank you for suggesting that they take exercise bands with them. Yeah, there you go. See, we can make anything work. She is here. Okay. You have won a $50 gift card, and I will get your information. Let me just check and make sure that accurate, that you are living in Memphis, Tennessee. If that is correct, then I have the right Sonia Boyce, and you will get your thing mailed to you. People are congratulating you. Yes, she says, you are quick. You didn't fall off your chair like most people do. Okay, well, Baltazar, this was amazing. I am so inspired. I'm not happy that Crystal got sick and isn't feeling well, but I am so happy I was here to be able to learn, because I had never experienced rail bookings like this. So I'm going to get on with Tara and be like, when is IntelliJet's getting on the train?
Exactly.
So thank you so much for everything you shared with us tonight. Agents, thank you for being here. Remember to call in. You've got the phone number right there. You've got railbookers.com. You've got their times, and by all means, start getting people on those love trains. #LoveTrains. Okay. Good night, everyone, and thank you.